Okay guys, so we're going to be going ahead and working on your project. So right now we're working on a still life. So still life can be of anything. It can be a simple still life, which is just one object, or it can be multiple objects. That's up to you. And you can also choose objects that are of different complexity. So this one has multiple parts, but as a general rule, it's relatively simple. This little lamp is super cute, and I really like using it for a lot of different things because it's posable, much like those mannequins that you find in my classroom. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put him right up here, and I'm going to do a basic sketch of what I see. Now, obviously, what I see and what you see aren't going to be the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and record right now while I get this basic sketch down on paper. Now, the basic sketch, as we've covered before in class, it's a foundational piece. So with pencil, as I'm using a mechanical pencil right now, you're going to go ahead, I'm going to just turn him just a little bit, just to get a better view of his shape. And I'm going to go ahead and start by making the basic shapes of his body. Okay, so this one took me all of about 30 seconds to go ahead and get the basic outlines done. I don't have any of the small details drawn out yet. I don't have anything else. And this is where you want to be for the start of today. You want to just have the basic outlines done. Nothing too detailed, nothing too complex, just the very basics. There's no chords, there's no extra details or anything like that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go in with a smaller piece of charcoal that's approximately this size, and we're going to go ahead and go in and start laying out some of those details. So you're going to start with some hatching. Go around the outside edges of your lines, put in those really nice dark areas where those shadows are located. Start adding those in, and I'm going to go ahead and do that very quickly so you can see how I do it in real time. Notice I haven't started blending yet. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and start darkening in those spaces where we see the shadows and making sure that we have our outlines in place. So I happen to see a shadow right underneath at the base and right along the base of the tail. Following the shadow, let's go ahead and input the shape of the shadow down along the base. Darken up right here. Darken up right here. Now, in some spaces, they're going to be a little bit darker, but not too dark. So we want to make sure to just kind of do a little bit of a scribble with the charcoal. And then we're going to start going in with the blending stump. Now, the blending stump is a super good tool for creating these wonderful blended shadows. Changing the direction of your blending can create that 3D effect without adding extra pressure or detail in there. So I'm going to go ahead and go sideways for here, going upwards, and then I'm going to switch to vertically for this space. This creates that 3D effect without adding any extra techniques. So you're literally just changing directions of how you're blending. So I'm going to go back to going up and down for here. Up and down for here, up and down for here, and then for the sides of things, I'm going to just do sideways, side to side. Up and down, and notice I didn't add any extra charcoal to this. Without adding anything extra, it creates that effect without adding any extra darkness to your drawing. So this one's going to be inside, extra dark, so I'm going to go side to side. change the direction. Now you can go in and start building up layers of those hatching to make sure you have nice dark areas. Now, at this point, you should not be finished with your drawing yet. We're going to go back in and add more details as we continue to build up, and I'm going to show you how this develops. We're not going to quite finish it today. You're not really going to have time for that. You're going to keep building up the charcoal. Notice as I add and blend and add and blend and add and blend, it's going to become more and more realistic. This blending stump that should be on each of your tables is going to be available to all of you. Now, if you're using pencil, if you don't have one of these, a piece of paper works just fine. Your finger can also work. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right here. Go side to side here, up and down. And it's going to change the direction just a little bit. And once we're going to keep going, but once you're completely finished, that's when you're going to go ahead and do something else. Now notice when I changed which willow charcoal I'm using, the darker those lines and softer those lines are. So make sure that you're using the different sides as needed. We're going to keep working on these, and I'm going to be there to help you out if you have any questions. But for the most part, you will not be finishing it today. We're going to keep working on it for the rest of the week. And you're just going to keep working on the same one. No erasing today, really. You don't want to erase. If there's a spot that you don't really like the shape, you want to change it a little bit, go ahead, go in with a blending stump and just push down and blend it out really, really well. If you don't have a blending stump, again, your finger works very well. Another option is to roll up a piece of paper, or to even just wrap a piece of Kleenex around, or toilet paper around the end of a pencil, and to use that. Kleenexes are Q-tips also work very, very well for blending. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, but we're going to continue working on this, and this is where we're going to stop today.